Good evening, friends. Welcome to another Monday night where we have a project to make together on another Make It With Me Monday. Hope you all had a nice weekend. I realized I forgot to bring over my blocks, so I will give you guys a second to catch up, hop on, all that good stuff that's been going on here. Alrighty, a couple blocks will help. Usually it's best if the stamps are mounted when you want to use them, right? Okie dokie. So tonight's layout, I took from the Facebook group that is called Casing Tuesday. So if you're unfamiliar with the term case, C-A-S-E, it means copy and share everything. So they look through the catalogs and they note layouts that they like and things like that. And then they break it down into the measurements and post it once a week on a Tuesday. And then people post the cards that they made. And so I took a layout from there for this week. I just need to find what stamp set we're using tonight. Here we go. All right. So on page 94 and 95, you can see the Inked Botanicals collection. I'm only going to be using the stamp set and the DSP tonight, but there is a bundle that comes with 2 punches, and you can see some of these patterns coordinate into, excuse me, some of the DSP that's available, and then also some other stuff too. I like the way that they've used them here, kind of alternatingly making a background with those shapes, so that's kind of fun. And then these, some of these phrases, the long skinny phrases, can fit into that little X shape. So a little bit versatile, a little bit fun, and hopefully I'm bringing a couple different ways to look at it. I'm going to stick in the color palette though of the DSP. Now this is a 6x6 DSP pack, and let me run through it really quick for you. Of course, 2-sided, so you've got Lagoon and Pool Party and Crushed Curry and Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. Let me see. Yes, Aiden is in here. If anybody saw my post tonight, hi Karen. Hope you're doing well in Florida. Hi Kathy. If anybody logged in soon enough to catch my post from before, Aiden decided to plant himself right in my stamping space. So you might hear a little meow once in a while as he tends to walk around the studio. So here's a couple more. So tiny prints, little florals, tone on tone sometimes. Really, really fun pack of DSP. So that gets again is the botanicals. And there you go. All right. It's kind of a little glitchy. Hopefully it's not looking too weird tonight. At least that's what it looks like on my screen. So, all right, let's go ahead and see what you needed for tonight. I'm sure you're wondering what all these little pieces are going to do together, and I hope you're going to like this layout. So you wanted a neutral piece that is 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. And then the same neutral color that is 1 3/4 by 3. I'm using our Very Vanilla, the thick version for the card base, and just the regular for the smaller piece. And then gather up some images, phrase, etc. that you want to decorate this piece with. Okay. Then you needed a piece of designer series paper that is 1 by 2 1/4, and we're going to be using that horizontally. And again, mine all come from the Inked Botanicals collection. Another designer series paper that coordinates, that's 1 3/4 by 3. And then 2 pieces of cardstock, one that is the same size as this one, so it's 1 by 2 1/4. And then another one that is 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so that is what you need for tonight. I'm just going to move these over. So grab your neutral piece that you're going to want to decorate with here. And again, I'm going to be using Inked and Tiled. So the first thing I'm going to do, I want my phrase to be the focal point. So I'm going to stamp that first. And I'm going to put that, let me center it on my card block here. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I'm going to use Lost Lagoon and Pool Party because those are the colors that are in my designer series paper. So I'm going to put my birthday phrase right in the middle. And then I'm just going to decorate around it a little bit with some of the other pieces from Inked and Tiled. Oops, I'm going to need Lost Lagoon again. Let me put the stamp over there. Okay, so in the Pool Party color, I'm going to grab the bigger leaves, and I'm going to, I don't need the whole thing, so I know my block's a little small, but you're not going to see it anyway. I'm going to stamp it off just a little bit, and I'm going to add some leaves, there we go, surrounding my happy birthday. So there's a couple of those. And then I'm also going to grab this little flower piece And I'm going to go back to my Lost Lagoon color, so these are going to show up a little bit darker. I'm also going to stamp these off though, so that they are going to end up lighter than my happy birthday phrase. So basically all I'm doing is randomly filling in some of the empty spots. Okay, I think I want a little bit more right up in the corner. I like going off the edge of it. It makes it actually look more finished than if you tried to keep it all within the boundaries of the piece itself. So just a little tip there. All right, let me get ink out of the way so that I don't stick my fingers in it. Okay, now if you're assembling with me, you might want to wait until I've got it all laid out so you can actually catch where everything is going and decide how much room you want to leave and all that kind of stuff. So, or if you're feeling bold, go for it right along with me. All right, first we're going to take our card base and of course on that score line, fold it and give it a little burnish with bone folder. The first piece we're going to use is the cardstock that is 1 by 2 1/4. Okay, we're going to put a little adhesive on the back of that, and we're going to place it towards the bottom corner, not too far down. So I would say maybe like right about there. You're going to leave kind of a nice border around each side. Okay, then the second one you're going to want to take is the designer series paper that you plan to use vertically. So it's 1 3/4 by 3, and we're going to use it vertically. And let's go ahead and add, whoops, adhesive onto the back of that. Now it's going to layer over. You're going to cut off some of this with this DSP. So you're going to see, you can decide, do you want to see just a little of it? Do you want to see a lot of it? I'm going to go maybe a little over halfway over, and then less space here, more space here. Okay, so there's like 2 of the pieces. The third one you're going to lay down is the other piece of designer series paper that you're using horizontally, and that is 1 by 2 1/4. Again, hi Laura, good to see you tonight. Glad you could join me. And then we're going to crisscross these 2 over each other, like so. Okay, so these kind of have a similar positioning into each of the different corners. Okay, and then I can't tell if this one's looking crooked because the plaid is funny. There we go. That makes me feel a little better. Then the last piece we have is the last piece of cardstock that was 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to use this one vertically to cut off the seam. Whoop, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. There we go. So it kind of covers the seam that those 2 made. And I think I just want to reposition a little bit. There we go. I think that looks a little straighter. Now, the last thing you're going to put on is your phrase. You can decide at any point if any of these pieces need to be popped up with dimensionals. That's completely your choice. We're going to look at these 2 pieces to kind of frame it across both sides. And that is your basic layout for tonight. All right, so let me get, and again, you can play with how these lay across each other, how much of each of them you want to show. And maybe once you've seen what we're doing here, you might want to pick different colors, change up a DSP or something like that. So don't worry if it didn't quite come together without knowing what the layout looks like. Sometimes it kind of is like, well, I don't know about that. But again, and there's going to be lots of ways you can change this up, add to it, etc. So let me go ahead and show you some other samples. Besides inked and tiled, tonight I'm using Quiet Meadow and, shoot, I left my note over there. The one, it's something leaves and it matches the bow punch. If anybody has a catalog candy, holler at me what that is. I will of course have it in the descriptions as I post the pictures. All right, let me find punches because it's going to bother me until I can figure out what that is. It's that punch. And it was designed by one of our demonstrators, Rachel Tessman. And if anybody knows it, let me know. Okay, it's not coming up to me, so I'll just post it later. All right, here's one using Quiet Meadow, and I use the Countryside in designer series paper. That's the one that has all the different blues in it. So I mostly focused on navy and boho tonight. Using, this is actually the same piece, which is always kind of fun when you get to use the same piece of paper and the same thing. It is breaking up again tonight, huh? Well, shoot. I can't fix it. Sometimes I think my phone get hot? Let me feel. No, yeah, it's getting a little warm, so that might have something to do with it. Well, shoot. Okay, hopefully it's not super bad. I'll try to make sure that I speak carefully and slowly, and hopefully you're catching all of it then. I'm going to have to investigate that a little bit on my phone and see if I can figure out why it does that. All right, here's another one with the title. I've used petal pink and calypso coral. I added a layer behind this particular one just to make that color pop a little bit more. I stamped tone and tone onto this piece here to give that a little bit more dimension. So there's an option too. You can color up, stamp on, or do something with those pieces. This one here, I used the Daisy DSP along with that layering leaves. There's a layering leaves stamp set. This is in Pretty Peacock and Copper Clay, one of our new colors. I added every piece of layering here has been run through the embossing folder with the painted texture embossing folder. So there is texture on everything, including the pieces of designer series paper that I've added behind there. So I thought that was kind of a little fun. And let me move that over to the side. All right. And here again is some more of the daisy paper along with the layering leaves again. This time I added in the bow punch by adding a few crushed curry that are right behind my phrase. Let's see, what else did I do? On the piece of cardstock, I just put them in my hand and switch them up so that they were crinkly. So a little texture into that. Okay, and the rest is just all from the set, and then I'm going to do in design series papers. Okay, hopefully the sound is a little bit better if I take some pauses. And I will try to get this figured out, because you're not the first one who's mentioned it recently. That's the thing here. Yeah, depending on what DSP you're using, it gives it a completely different feel. Bright colors versus pastels versus all kinds of different, these rich earthy tones. It all feels a little bit different. And I like how using the neutral background just really sets off the designer series papers and the colors that you want to use. Okay, so here again is the one that I did on camera. And here's my stepped up version. So the difference is here, I added a piece of lagoon behind my phrase to make that stand out a little more. I added an embossing folder, the exposed brick embossing folder. Well, shoot, that's a bummer. You're right, Karen, bummer. Exposed brick is on these two pieces right here. And then I stamped and cut out one of the flower images from Inked and Tiled, and I added some gems that are in the lagoon color to add a little bit of length to this one here. All right, so I apologize that the sound was off tonight. I got to figure out what is going on with, I think it's either heat or an internet issue. And usually we don't have internet issues. So I'm going to hopefully be able to figure that out. And then you don't have to listen to me sound like I'm going through a tunnel and hearing every other word. I will definitely have these guys posted real soon to YouTube and to the photos in the album on my Facebook page. All right, I'm sorry the sound quality was off tonight, guys. Hopefully I will have that fixed by next week. So everybody have a great week. And if you choose to use this layout, I would love to see what you're making with it. So let me know. Post a picture and share. Signal strength in the craft group. Yeah, that's what I have to check, Tina, is see if somehow I'm blocking something. Because it's a recent issue. I haven't had that issue for quite some time. So I have to just figure out if what it possibly has changed. So I will get John on that. He is the IT guy around here. I will check in with my IT guy and figure out what's going on. All right, everybody, have a